Right, come on. There we go. We're live, we're live. I'll just do a little intro. So, hey everyone, as you know, this goes live but also stays on the page. So, if you miss our live stream, then it's all good. You can watch it later. Just to introduce Shay from Caliwoods. So, Shay's been one of our supporters for, oh, crikey, I don't even know how long now, a few years now.
Yeah, it's been quite a few years.
Doing all sorts nowadays. We started out just with straws in the pack, and now we do the sporks, and it's quite cool to see where you guys have come. Like it was from years ago, and now like you've got heaps of stuff going on.
Yeah, it was so interesting. It's like we sort of started in markets where I started, it was like nearly 5 years ago. And I'd have to explain to people why they would use a reusable straw. And it was like, oh, why would I use that when I can just use a plastic one? And it's so interesting to sort of like take that as the standard of where we were as I guess, as a country and like our mentality towards waste. And then going like, okay, explain to people why they'd use something reusable. And now it's like pretty standard conversation, like in our mainstream media and amongst other people, at least, people who even aren't involved in the sustainability space still have that like base level awareness of why we need to, reduce our impact. So it's pretty cool sort of like watching that conversation really change. And then with Caliwoods, ourselves, our product development has gone from like just having reusable straws to a big range of eco products so that people can reduce their waste.
That's cool. So, what got you into it, Shay?
Um, Pretty much, it was a very personal experience. Just when I was traveling and sailing through the Pacific Ocean, and we were in the most isolated places, like places that you can only really go on you can only go on a boat. And every single place that we went, I had plastic pollution follow us, literally everywhere. That just these small little islands that pop up in the middle of the ocean, and you sort of anchor out and then go into the island on a small tender, and I was just walking and it was like you saw plastic dolls and flip-flops and yogurt bottles and plastic bags and noodle packets and all sorts of things just following us every single place that we went. And I was just like, holy crap, I'm in the middle of nowhere. There's no people for miles and miles and miles. Like, I don't even know how many people have been on this tiny patch of sand before me, yet I see just like plastic pollution every single step that I was taking. And I was just like, I came home after traveling for quite some time. And I was just like, I have to actually do something about that. Like, I can't just see that and then not see it. So yeah, Caliwoods is my way of trying to give back and help in the sustainability journey of Aotearoa.
That's cool. That's really cool. Actually, it takes me back to when I went to Fiji when we were allowed to. And I got up early one morning and walked along the beach before they swept the beach. And there was just all these really old brand plastic containers that I hadn't seen for years, just sitting on the beach that washed up overnight. And I didn't even realize that they swept the beach to get rid of all that stuff. But it was quite.
Yeah. And I mean, those are just the plastics that we can see, right? So that's like a primary plastic. And then if you think about how that plastic breaks down, we'll just specifically talk about the ocean environment for a little bit, but how that plastic breaks down into the smaller pieces, and those microplastics are actually, the plastic pollution that we can't see. So we get all wound up about the plastic bags and the straws and the noodle packets and stuff, and then there's actually microplastics that we can't see, and they're the plastics that are having really wreaking havoc on our whole ecosystem as a planet. And it's not just a situation that we can remove ourselves from, because it's a full ecosystem, full food chain contamination. Like, we have plastics in our bodies. Like, every single human on the planet has plastics in their bodies pretty much. And that's really scary, it's just like, okay, cool, I don't really care about waste, or I don't really care about climate change, but it's like, this is really starting to impact us on a personal health level. So I believe it's a conversation that everybody should be.
Yeah, yeah. So tell me, how is lockdown going for you guys? How are you doing?
Yeah, pretty good. So for Caliwoods, we have the sales that go into stores, and then we have our online store as well. So our online store is still okay. sales wise, and then obviously our retailers can't really open, quite a few of them, so like our supermarkets and stuff can, but the other smaller stores and gift stores can't. So yeah, we're filling for our retailers, but we're just making sure that we're using the time effectively so that when we can sort of go back to level 3 or level 2, we can sort of start to like build momentum come up into Christmas and make sure that everybody has lots of sustainability info and education through this time as well. Because, you know, we want to do lockdown, not landfill. You know, it doesn't have to be this huge, it doesn't have to be at the sake of the planet, right?
Yeah. Well, you said the C word, like the Christmas word. Oh, it's getting too close. Like I looked at the calendar yesterday going, oh my gosh, it's nearly September. Oh, where is this?
Yeah, I know. It's crazy, right?
It's insane. So you guys are an essential service, that you're obviously still able to send stuff out.
Yeah, we are. So the majority of our products fit into those categories. Yeah.
Okay,
and then
cool.
our where we pack our warehouse from is managed to COVID standards, obviously, as well. So
yeah, cool. So have you got anything new that you sort of got happening, or?
yeah, we do. So we've got I'm just about to do an email, but I'll tell you guys first. So we have like a reusable baking mat coming out. So that will be really cool. And then we've so effectively you don't need to use baking paper. You can just line your baking tray with like a washable silicone mat. So that's really cool. And then we are doing like a new variation of our razors. So at the moment we just have short-handled razors, but we're about to release long-handled ones. So they've been like much requested. So that'll be really sweet. And a couple more surprises coming up for like our stores that we're about to release in a few days. So
something to look out. I must admit,
Yeah.
one of the things I've been telling people about in my workshops of late is what we hadn't even talked about it, but I just saw it when I unpacked one of the razors, because you guys actually you take the blades back to be recycled, which is quite a unique sort of a situation, because a lot of people do ask, like, if you're using reusable razors, what do you do with the blades? And then I saw your little parcel with the little note, and it doesn't even have to be our brand, and I was like, now that's cool, because that's very circular, you know.
Yeah, so I mean, you think of it, you're like, oh, it's just a tiny little razor blade, like whatever, I'll just put it in the bin. But if you collect them up, so we take back, if you have 40 or more, we'll take them back, and what we're actually doing is stockpiling. So if you're an individual and you only have 10 razor blades, it's quite tricky to actually dispose of them responsibly, because they can't go in the recycling because they're too small and obviously sharp and a hazard to the recycling handlers and sorters. But they are very valuable material. They're made of stainless steel, which is hyper recyclable and actually has a recyclable value. So what we're doing is, I guess, just acting as a collective whereby we collect them and stockpile them. So yeah, send us back your razor blades, even if they're from another brand. We don't mind. We'll take care of them for you.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool. That's very cool. And so what is your favorite product of your range?
Ooh, that's a tricky one. I'm actually really, it sounds like really small and minimal, but I'm actually really liking we've got a little dish brush that we've just released, and like a solid dish bar. So it's in a little aluminium tin, and the dish brush fits on top, and you just sort of like swirl it around, and you don't need to use liquid soap. And the dish bar lasts for so long. I've just gotten through mine now, and it's been 4 months. So I'm pretty stoked on that and using that in the kitchen.
I haven't even seen that, I don't think. That's pretty cool. That's an awesome idea. So especially the solid bar movement. So a couple of other little questions. One is, have you got any tips for coping during lockdown?
Yeah. To be honest, I just think the best tip is just to kind of enjoy the time. And I know for some situations that can be pretty difficult because everybody's in a different situation. But if you can, and enjoy your time where everything stops and pauses, and you don't have all of these obligations and things to go and places to be and people to meet. It's like, we've actually done the minimalist challenge, which started on the 1st of August. So according to the date, you have to either throw away, repurpose, or like give on the amount of items according to the date. So on the 1st of August, we did one thing. The 15th, 15 things, and it's now the 27th. So today our challenge is to get 27 things. It adds up to 460 something things over the month. So it's actually been really good, because normally finding the time to do things like that can be quite challenging. And yeah, I mean, I see a lot of families reconnecting and everybody exercising more. So I think just trying to take the silver lining out of it, if at all possible, is probably like my best tip.
Spending time with people. You miss a lot of time with your family and kids and stuff, because you're so busy all the time, especially when you're self-employed, and you know, even though you're at home, you're not present because there's always stuff to do. I've certainly noticed that, like just having time to sit and play Nintendo with the kids, which, you know, just because normally it's just you're too tired because you've been driving around working and then like, to have a moment where you're not too tired is quite cool. Yeah. And then the other thing is, I don't know if you watch Netflix or Prime or something, but what's your favorite? Have you got any series that you're fully into at the moment? I'm doing my own research on this.
You know what? I actually, we don't have a TV.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, so I don't like, my screen time is working. So when I'm not working, I try to switch off. But I do the occasional like dip into Netflix. I have an account, so I'm not like that disconnected. So when an interesting one comes up, I do tend to get into it. I did get addicted to the Crown, which is like I can't believe I'm confessing this actually. So I watched I just had a little boy, so when I was breastfeeding, I kind of like put the screen away from us and was getting through series. And it was kind of interesting, because I was like, oh my gosh, I didn't know any of this stuff. And I know it's not like completely fact-based, but it was a good time. But I don't try to get sucked in, because it's just like, it is a bit tricky, because then you do end up getting like 2 o'clock in the morning, before you know it, you've been watching just one more and it just auto plays. It's just like next episode. It's like, no, stop.
And so for the people who are watching, and for people who watch after it's finished being live, just because you guys have a bit of a deal that we run through our workshops, so that people can get your products because they often get a sample in the packs, but if they want to try something else, you guys have an offer.
We do.
Do you want to share that with people? And I'll put a link up I'll put a comment up there. And if anybody's got any questions after this, feel free to chuck a comment up on the feed, and then Shay or I will get on there and answer it for you. But share with us.
Easy done. Cool. So all of our reusable products are available on caliwoods.co.nz. And then if you enter the discount code at checkout, so it's KM for Kate Meads, so KM Waste Free, all in capital letters. Oh. And you'll get, I should tell you what you get with that. You get $5 off for any purchase over $30.
Awesome. Okay, now I'll put that up now, so that's all. So that if you do want to get a deal, and I'm definitely keen to look at that dish brush thing, I haven't even seen it. I don't know why. I get your emails all the time, but I probably just scroll through a lot of the emails to actually connect with the content. That's really cool, and I hope that you are. It's good to hear that you're doing your thing, and you guys are all good. Definitely need to make sure we keep in touch a little bit more. It's been a bit of a struggle this last 12 months, but I think that, like, especially being able to talk live to people and sort of, have Zoom is now the new norm. Things are, you're sort of more connected in a way.
Yeah. I think we could say that for sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. I really appreciate it. It was nice to chat. Hi to everyone out there.
Yeah. And you guys take care. Look after yourselves and your family, and we'll keep in touch. Thanks for joining me. Nice to chat. See ya.
Ciao. See ya.